Hello, Goobers. It's me, your favorite Goober, and I wanted to discuss Project Fear, um, and specifically this aspect of it. You might be familiar with how these powers manifest in that universe. When you're afraid of something enough to the point where you can manifest powers, it means you're really, really afraid of that thing. Obviously, there's some more nuance to that, but that's the general gist of the idea. And when it comes to the idea that these powers are manifested from something you're afraid of, what happens if you're no longer afraid of that thing? What if you confront that fear and truly solve it? What happens to your powers? Do they remain? And a similar question that begs a similar answer is what happens when your perspective on that fear shifts? What happens when maybe you were a young child afraid of something, but as you grew up, you began to have a more nuanced perspective on that thing, and either your fear shifts to something else about it, or maybe the understanding dissipates whatever fear you had, which would then, once again, tie into the what happens when you are not afraid of that thing anymore. So, whether you aren't afraid anymore or your perspective changes on that fear, what happens to your powers? And that's a question I don't honestly have an answer for yet, but I really should figure out an answer truthfully. I don't know what I want to do. The only working idea that I've had, and I haven't really put that much thought into it, I've kind of pushed this to the side, but it is important to figure out, so I'm bringing it up now. But my only idea so far is that when you manifest these powers, they remain. They're with you whether or not you still are afraid of that thing. And I just thought of this. So we've got this honeymoon phase right now with this idea, but I'm pretty interested in it. I just thought of this. Maybe a person's monster, which every time you manifest a fear, you also have a monster. Imagine fight or flight. If you were to choose flight in this fear response, you would more than likely be the kind of person who would be at risk of being consumed by your fear. When you're consumed by your fear, you transform into a monster. Now, every monster is unique to the individual, blah blah blah. Details that, I won't share because I don't want to sit down for a half an hour talking about them. But the point is, every time you manifest a power, you also technically manifest a monster. Now, here's the new idea. Perhaps that monster is actually more important than just being a monster. What if that monster also represented the fear itself? Because I've always had the detail very specifically that the power, you know, is at like the top of the food chain, and then you have like the monster beneath it. They're both a part of the same thing, right? The power and the monster are all one thing in general. You manifest them at the exact same time. But perhaps with this new idea, the monster could be a representation of your fear. So if you can tame that fear, you don't lose the power. And in universe, when you tame the monster, you unlock an outfit that you can manifest. It's basically a physical stat boost, right? It can enhance your strength, it can enhance your speed, it can enhance your durability, and sometimes when you tame a monster, it even gives your power a new ability. Not all the time, not every time, but it can, right? It's a little bit of a stat boost, and seldom does it give you a new ability for your power. I'm liking this idea. Just came up with it, so once again, honeymoon phase for it. But that could be interesting as well for like how a character faces their monster. How do they face their fear? Because then it doesn't strip them of their power. It empowers them, literally, to face their fear. I think we're cooking. This has been a very productive video. I like that. I am literally going to go to bed right after I finish this, so I'm going to quite literally sleep on this idea, and I will wake up tomorrow and see if I still like it. Monster can be the physical representation of the fear. It gives a little more meaning to the monster. It didn't have too much of a meaning, but yeah, I like that. I think I can work with that. Okay, we're going to end it here. So good night and good luck. Thank you all for being here. I hope you have a wonderful morning, evening, day, whatever it is for you. I will see you tomorrow, though. Bye bye.